Welcome to another Dragon Log edition. Today, we will be going over something called the Ultimate Smash Tournament. This is a tournament in which many creatures, dragons, and the like are known to participate and try to murder each other. It's very fun for watch, and there have been 5 iterations of this tournament. So, let us get started. The first dragon is probably one of my favorite dragons of all time, that being the Yoshi Manchakupas dragon. The Yoshi Manchakupas dragon lives on a tropical island, right off the coast of Japan, and it is well known for its unique digestive system. Instead of simply eating whatever it consumes, its tongue is able to grab its prey and put it into its stomach. But then the prey comes out in an egg-like shell. Well, we don't know exactly how this works, and the people that have experienced this have been too traumatized to explain what the process feels like. Anyway, this dragon is most well known for being the mount of the heavy quotation marks here, hero Marion. Marion most often uses these creatures in an attempt to fight, the next one coming up upon our list. These creatures are mostly peaceful, and will mostly keep to their own tiny island unless provoked. This creature was actually one of the first ones to ever show up to the Smash tournament in the original iteration in 1664. Anyway, here's the full image of the dragon now. The next dragon on our list is technically more of a drake, but I don't particularly care. This, as mentioned, is a dragon often fought by the quote-unquote hero Marion. This dragon is often known for kidnapping royalty and using their palace as a built-in nest for its young. This dragon also has many young, with each one delivering up to 7 per 1 litter. This dragon's most known ability is to breathe fire, and also it apparently can survive lava, especially when thrown off bridges, which this species is, for some reason, very prone to. It also has many different variants. One is much more skeletal, and one is more blue and is often called the Dark Bowslord. The Bowslord dragon joined this Ultimate Smash tournament during its second iteration, commonly dubbed the Melee Tournament, and along with a few others. Marion was also happened to be in this tournament, as he was in the first one, and these two have continued to build up their rivalry ever since. And notably, he in the third tournament, was it the fourth? I don't remember. I think it was the fourth after further research. But in the fourth tournament, many of this particular dragon's young joined the tournament as well. Surely there's not been a shortage of particular Bowslords in this arena. Okay, this one I actually had time to do design notes. For this one, there wasn't really much going into design. My main thing was just try to change it as much as humanly possible, because a lot of these are already dragon-like, so I didn't want to just draw Bowser slightly more detailed. So I did go a bit more turtle-ish, and yeah, so I hope you guys like the design. This next dragon is believed to be an offshoot of a particular species that I have not covered yet, but plan to someday. The Metal Knight Dragon is one of the most ferocious dragons to ever join the arena, to the fact that as soon as it was joined, it was almost pretty much banned from participating the first time it joined. The Brawl Edition is what they called it at the time. However, they released one variant of it and brought in a significantly weaker version of this species. So, all is right with the world. This one is much known for its range attacks. It's known to spin around in a circle, almost creating a sort of mini tornado. It also attacks with its strange tail spike, which many view to see as a sword. Heard, some have even reported its wings folding back into something that looks much more like a cape. And while I haven't seen this for myself, I wouldn't put it far past this particular dragon. It is fairly small as dragons come, only about being the size of a small horse. But that does not reduce its deadliness any less. This is the one that I think actually looks the best within this episode. Now, in case you haven't noticed, for all of these I've been trying to do one from each Smash game, 64, Melee, Brawl, so on and so forth. But for Brawl, there wasn't that many characters I could actually turn into a dragon. Like, it was this and then Pokemon Trainer, were my pretty much two options for that one. And so I decided to go with Meta Knight, since the wings were already kind of dragonish, and I figured it would make sense. Plus, it gives me an open ability to do a Kirby dragon in the future, which I think could be fairly fun. And for this one, my main concern was making it a bit too generic, which I didn't think came across that way at all. The part I was really excited about was to do the weird mask. I decided to make it more like a Triceratops type frill thing, because I figured that would work more into like the reptilian stylings of a dragon. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I think if I could fix one thing on this, it would be to like make the armor less artificial looking. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy it. For this next dragon, it joined around the 4th tournament, even though it was heavily requested and probably could have been in any of these tournaments. Hence, the Pac dragon, which is what it's fairly generically called, is a fairly frog-like dragon. That is very fast. It has two main things about it, which is that it's extremely fast, and one other thing we will get to later. Its speed is incredible, and it spends most of its time running and flying around the blue mazes in which it makes its home. The other significant detail is that it's known to eat spectral entities. By that, I mean it eats ghosts. In fact, my friend Shanza, who is a genie, was almost once eaten by one of these creatures. Because it mistaked him for a ghost. He has still not told me what it was like, but I can make a few inferences. When it eats a spectral entity, ghost, or genie, it will often spit out the eyes of whatever it has just eaten, and pretty much just leave them as, I don't know, sort of trophy, I guess. Yes, these eyes can be regenerated into a full ghost afterward, but it is a bit weird to just see two eyeballs floating there after being, belched out by a giant frog dragon. There are certain sights that I very much wish that I could unsee. So for this one, I think it's obvious. I'm taking a lot of information from the Pac-Man frog, which apparently is a thing that exists. Originally, I was planning to make it more gecko-like, due to, for some reason, Pac-Man's head reminded me of that of a gecko. But then I remembered the Pac-Man frog existed, and it went from there. Like with Meta Knight, I had a similar issue, since there wasn't a lot of reptilian characters in Wii U Smash, and I didn't want to just end up doing Charizard, since Charizard isn't technically a dragon, but is pretty much a dragon. And I don't have the time to go on a full rant about how, Charizard should be a dragon type, so I'm just going to move on. So, main thing was trying to make him round enough to look like Pac-Man, but also be somewhat intimidating. And while it didn't look that intimidating, it still looks pretty cool in my opinion. And also I didn't do the typical scales on this one, since frogs are more amphibious and don't really have those. Also, for some of like shoulder bumps or whatever, I don't know what those called, I decided to make it look like the Pac-Man and logo, like the typical Pac-Man hand shape. Yep. So yeah, don't really have much more to say on this drawing. So I hope you guys like it. And here is the Pac-Man frog dragon thing. I haven't come up with the names. The last dragon on our list is one that was most recently joined in this tournament. And the Royal Cruel Crocodile is, obviously based on the name, very crocodilian, and was one of the long-standing enemies of the hero Donkey of the Kongs. But for a fairly strange reason. This dragon, despite its fairly carnivorous-looking teeth and such, is well known for eating bananas. I personally don't understand, as I have no likings for bananas, but apparently this creature likes it. I don't know why. Its teeth look very not designed to eat any fruit, but whatever. Nothing makes sense anymore. Anyway, the tribe of Kongs that live on the Kong Island and had for very long prided themselves upon the hoard of bananas. They basically considered it their royal treasure. So when one of these moved to the island and threatened their bananas, the hero Donkey of the Kongs decided to go try to slay it with his partner Diddy of the Kongs. This creature has quite a strange moveset of attacks. It doesn't attack like you'd expect it would. It pretty much just charges at you, and then you jump out of the way, and it charges at you again, and then you jump out of the way, and it's a whole repeated thing. However, in the tournament of Smash, it appears they picked a version of this dragon that has a significantly more diverse variety of attacks. As it's been known to shoot cannonballs out of its mouth, can fly to incredible speeds, and also is the basic, chomping people's heads off with, razor-sharp teeth. Despite the fact that apparently it eats bananas. Despite being a literal crocodile, why does it eat bananas? You know what? Anyway, so then. Well, that is all we have for today, and I hope you enjoyed this file. Thank you, and goodbye.